Hey, this is my Yush. Welcome to Soul Diva Confessions 15. Today I want to talk about men and women who has the choosing power in 2025, and if women no longer have the choosing power, then is romance really possible anymore? So I've been trying to record this episode for a while. Sorry, the lighting is kind of weird today. I'm just winding down for bed. I just got off of work. I'm working a close open, so I have to be at work in 8 hours again, which I don't really mind once in a blue moon because I really like my job. But I was on my way home from work and I was listening to some random shuffle playlist that just came on after the Drake album. And I don't even have to mention the fact that we all love Drake so much. And it's just so ridiculous that he's still just looking for love in all the wrong places. At his big old age, we're like, Papi, can you just... So this playlist after the album, random shuffle on Spotify, led me to Summer Walker's Girls Need Love. And basically she's just talking about how girls need love and we need sex, basically, which is true. Women, we have deep, insatiable desires. But I'm really scared in 2025 because I feel that as women, we've allowed our desires, our hedonistic desires, our fleshly desires for sexual love, to cost us long-term love. I feel that our desire for love in the short term, dick with no complications, quote unquote, we've traded that for fairy tale love or for committed, consistent, romantic love. And all of the wonderful things that go with that in a traditional context, i.e. men providing masculine feminine polarity. So the problem with women's sexual liberation and women wanting to have sex the way that men do and act on those hedonistic fleshly desires is that it actually goes against our biology to do so. Whereas with men, their biology is to spread their seed to as many women as possible, to have the most offspring, to carry his genes forward. What our responsibility as women is to ensure that only the best genes make it into the next generation. So the problem with our desire for sex, and there's nothing wrong with having a desire for sex. In fact, my desire for sex is so strong, I have made it a mission to get married so that I can experience that in a context that's also keeping to my responsibility to ensure that only the best and the genes that have been vetted by my family, which is a good family, make it into the next generation. And even if you don't have a good family or wherever you come from, you still have the responsibility as a woman to ensure that the best genes make it into the next generation. And so when we act on our base sexual desires with men that we haven't vetted to like the max, right? Like we haven't vetted him enough to see like, okay, this person is safe to reproduce with. Then it upsets the balance, male and female relationships, and women's ability to choose, because instead of electing to flex our ability to pick the best men to like reproduce essentially, or to have sex, aka scrubs should not be getting but they're getting every day. People whose genes should not be making it into the next generation are making it into the next generation every single day. And then that's just like in terms of a reproductive, like the population that we're creating, like the next generations we're creating, like we're reproducing with predators, a lot of us. Additionally, in electing to go with our hedonistic desire to have instant sexual gratification, women are wired to seek relationships for love. Since we are now like seeking relationships with sex because subconsciously we feel that that's all that we deserve and that's all that we're capable of, because the sexual liberation movement literally convinced us to start giving away like our biggest bargaining chip and our biggest like power play for free and told us it was empowering. So now we're like addicted, and it's very in the culture to be like addicted. Like I just meet women every single day that like cannot even go a month without sleeping with someone, which scares me. But I also like don't judge people because like that's just how we've been conditioned. But since we are electing to have sexual instant gratification, this has made pussy, women, super easy to access. And so it has now become that men have the choosing power, because good, attractive men that are like strong, have physical strength, physical fitness, and like look good and have money have become sort of the ultimate prizes in society that every women are kind of fighting for and like hoping for. Whereas men, in a lot of ways, I feel like men have kind of just stopped hoping for anything, just based on like what I'm seeing and like the interactions I've been having with men. It often just seems like they've just kind of given up on relationships because they just, I don't know, like it's so, they have the choosing power so much that they're confused because they biologically they're not wired to have the choosing power. So men have the choosing power and it's making them like overly cocky. It's making them unkind. It's making them total savages. And it's stunting their growth. It's keeping them from fully developing into men, because instead of having to like man up and make enough money to provide for a family, so that, because in the past that was the only way that a man could get sex, was he had to like be the best man, be able to provide food, like he had to have the best genes in order to go into the future, like to have a woman, to have sex, to like fulfill his basic needs as a male. Women have now kind of fallen victim to their hedonistic sexual desires. In addition, like, we're addicted. And additionally, it's because, like, subconsciously we don't feel that we deserve or are capable of love. And, like, all the music we listen to, like SZA, for example, God, like, I love SZA, but I can't listen to her anymore because when she dropped SOS, I realized that she just didn't learn anything from control. Like, she was just, her consciousness just got even worse, like more like desperate and low, like, self-worth. Like, that girl's self-worth is so low, it makes me depressed. Like, it depresses me in a way that I just can't even listen to her anymore, because I'm like, this is not normal or acceptable. Like, women should not be, this should not be normalized. Like, I just remember, like, she has this song. This song popped into my head earlier today, that was like, notice me. Lyrics that are like, I don't want to be your girlfriend, I just want to be your person. It just makes me sad that, you know, it's just like, she'll just settle for a situation. She'll settle for a no-name situationship just to get the man's attention. So it's like, we just have women out here, like, begging for men's attention. Like, you know, I'm not exempt from this. This has been my consciousness for the majority of my life. And I actually, like, cried on the way home from work today, because I realized that, like, you know, I live in LA and my dad doesn't really call me ever. Like, he never FaceTimes me. He never picks up the phone just to, like, tell me hi, and because he misses me. And I just started crying because I realized, like, how much I wish that he did, you know? Like, he's such an amazing father, and, like, if I call him, he's, like, the sweetest man. But it's like, I never really felt like he sought me out, or he, like, pursued me as his daughter. And so, like, damn, I have a father wound that I didn't really know that I had, because I have the best dad in the world. Like, he's literally an angel from heaven. And yeah, so we have women, like, using, like, their hedonistic desires to have sex. And I think we're trying to pretend that, you know, we just don't catch feelings or it's empowering for us, but secretly, like, all we want is a man that's gonna hold us and love us and provide for us and make sure that we're safe. And men are just acting like children because we as women have forgotten our power, and we have given men the choosing power. We've given them our bodies, like, we've given them everything up front, and, like, hoped that if we exchanged our sexual currency up front, then it would, like, get us the love that we wanted on the back end, which is not how it works. That's just bad business. You don't give up the goods until the business deal is, like, 100% gone through. And in my mind, business deal means marriage, something secure, the thing that you want, whatever it is that you want, which I don't think any woman should settle for less than legal marriage in 2025 for so many reasons. And then additionally, like, society has become really homogenized. So you have, you know, like, men and women doing everything equally in the workplace. And it's just made it so that women are working just as much as men. We're doing all of the things. We've taken on all of the roles that men used to do for us. We've now, like, inserted ourselves into their, like, hunting ground, and now we're just, like, hunting for ourselves. And now men don't really have anyone to hunt for, because we've also been conditioned that like relying on a man, or like allowing ourselves to be vulnerable enough to require and rely on a man to provide for us is weak and dangerous, when in my opinion, like, you should always require a man to provide for you, to have access to you, and then you can take his provision and then use like that time and resources that he provides for you to build your own freedom, which, you know, if you're smart, you saved up enough money to cushion for yourself before entering a relationship, so that you can allow yourself like a buffer window of time to like build your own thing and start generating your own income, like through either like a business or whatever, or like still working, even though I don't really know how two people can work full time and like have a household and like all the chores get done and nobody's burnt out, and there's still masculine and feminine polarity and gender roles that make relationships even worth having. You know, like I don't really know anybody that has a really highly polarized relationship. Like, I'm really out here like trying to be the example, but I don't have a relationship at the moment. I'm like out here just in the world trying to navigate, you know, these difficulties and this insane paradigm that I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones, because I know I've studied like relationships so much over the years, from knowing that I want what I want, and I only really encounter like serious like provider men that like adore my consciousness. And it's just been a matter of like me not finding one that I want yet. Like encountering a lot of guys that could be an amazing match, but it's just not, they're just not right for me. So I'm scared that if women keep going on this path of like casual sex and like casual relationships and like strong independent woman and just like casual relationships where like a man can have a wife without having to provide and give her and like put his reputation on the line by taking a wife, like what's gonna happen? These men are just gonna keep becoming stunted in their growth as men, and we have nobody to blame but ourselves, because we couldn't keep it in our pants, and we just like are confused and don't understand who we are. And it's not our fault that like we have low self-worth, because everything in society, in this world, is drilling into our minds. Like the propaganda machine, the matrix, is like trying to destroy the woman, because if we destroy the woman and like we make the woman no longer even really appealing to the man, then like we're not really gonna reproduce. And like I'm pretty sure the matrix just wants to like depopulate us and like replace us all with AI, because like, you know, if you're like the rich and like you're the top 10%, like top 1%, and like you're gonna just like survive and like pillage the earth, like having all these people like protesting and like fighting for their rights like isn't really helpful to you. Actually, it's annoying. So I feel like we're trying to be depopulated. Personally, I listen to a lot of Andrew Tate. Not really these days, because I'm kind of just like, fuck you, Andrew Tate, for like being so intelligent but being such an asshole that like you alienate such a large population of people that like need what you're saying but can't even listen to you, because like you're such an asshole. Like, you just say such incendiary things that like repel people. So like personally, I'm able to like look past that, and like I look to his content when I'm feeling like really lost and just like depressed about the state of the world, and when I really need like a dose of masculine energy in my life, even if it's like kind of toxic. You know, the way he talks about women is so toxic, but like you know, I don't believe for a second that he's ever harmed a woman. Like, if you just listen to him talk, like, you'll very quickly see why all the allegations against him are bullshit. And I love him because I think like he's genius, like he's a prophet. And like, you know, he's very conservative, but like liberal on the Palestine stance, which is kind of how I feel like I am lately. Just like culturally conservative, not really I just want to be out of America, and I want all of the people in America to be free. And like that's me, that's like my stance. Like, I don't approve of anything that's happening in the government right now. I hate America, but at the same time, like, I am more conservative just because I'm like relatively religious, and I feel that, you know, just conservatism, the word in general, like is more like aligns with my beliefs and my religious beliefs. But yeah, I feel really scared. And I'm just not sure that real love even exists. And that's not true, because I'm kind of falling in love right now a little bit. Like, there's this guy in my life, and we're just friends. But like the way he makes me feel, he's like every guy I've ever liked in one man, except for the first time in my life, I'm so healed that like I don't seek to him for approval. Like, I just like am completely myself with him, and he just kind of like looks at me. He's younger than me, so I don't, you know, think there's a future there with him. I'm not sure. But like the way he like looks at me and treats me, and like it makes me feel like love is like real again. And I don't know, like I've always just had luck with younger guys because they just look at me like with such admiration and love. Whereas like guys that are older, or guys that are my age, I don't know, we just like, it just doesn't work. Like, but with younger guys, I just feel so like appreciated and like loved. So it's pretty crazy because I've always been like an advocate of like dating older men, when in reality, like younger men have always kind of been that sweet spot for me. So yeah, I kind of feel like I'm like smitten like teenager right now, because I just, you know, I get to see this person that he makes me feel so good and so seen, and he's so like fun, and he's so masculine, you know, and he's such like he's just like big provider energy, so mature for his age. For the longest time, like I've just had this clear vision of like what I thought my life would be and what I thought love could be, and like lately I'm just not sure that it exists, and it makes me question God, because I just don't know why he would put these strong desires in my heart if he wasn't going to bring them to pass. And I don't know, I've been finding myself really wanting to turn my back on God and feeling deeply, deeply betrayed by Allah, and like I can't even trust Him, and I can't even trust anyone. I just don't really feel like I can trust anyone in my life right now. Like, I've even had to set boundaries with my family because I realized that all these years, like, they haven't loved me the way that I want to be loved, and they haven't pursued me like the way I want to be pursued, like by my mom or by my dad or my brother. Like, I don't feel treasured. And alhamdulillah, like, you know, I've just found glimpses of moments and glimpses of like encounters with people and with men where I feel deeply, deeply cherished. And that's a relatively new feeling for me. It's been a really tough road. And I've just had to walk away from so many people that I've loved. And I'm tired of walking away. But it's like, it's the only thing I have. Like, I love myself too much to keep loving people. And this is like my family too. Like, to keep loving people and pouring into people that just don't see me. And yeah, I guess I've done that my whole life. And now that I refuse to do it, I feel like I'm even lonelier than I was before. Like, whereas before my phone was dry, but I could still call my mom, now I don't even want to do that, you know? So, and like, I just feel really angry at Allah. And I just feel so betrayed by Allah. And I think, you know, Ramadan starts on Friday, so I'm really excited for Him to like restore me and just help me leave like this painful past of unrequited love behind, because I deserve more from the people in my life. And it's just crazy to like leave my family alone, you know, like leave my friends, my closest friends alone, because I'm like, you just don't love me the way that I love me. Like, you just don't get it. Like, you just don't get it. You don't get how special I am. So, Allah has led me to a new layer of aloneness and singleness. And I've been really mad lately and resentful. And I've even given up on music because I just can't right now. Music for me feels like yet another unrequited love. I've poured so much into my music career, so much of myself into singing and into music, and it hasn't loved me back. It's only caused me pain. So, you know, I'm documenting this series because if God chooses to restore my life and chooses to bring to pass everything that he's told me that he's going to bring to pass, even though from where I'm sitting it seems completely impossible, then at least I'll have a testimony. Because right now it's like, I was texting my friend this morning, like, I'm not sure why Allah would allow me to like believe in certain people, and why he would allow me to believe in certain outcomes for my career. And my friend was like, well, it's just a lesson, like refining your intuition and like the fine line between intuition and trauma. And it's like, no, I know God's voice when I hear it. I know the difference between trauma and intuition, and like my intuition and God, and you know, same thing. But you know, just in the waiting and the way God has just broken me down, completely broken me, and like crushed me, humiliated me, you know, like just like stripped me bare to my core in my waiting season. It just makes me really mad, because I'm like, wow, Allah, even you don't get it. Even you don't love me properly. And you know, I know ultimately it's just like me, you know, I don't get it, that I didn't love myself properly enough, and that's why everyone on the outside is not reflecting it. But I don't know, I just don't know like how much more how much more inner work I can do, you know. I've done more inner work than like 97% of the population. So I just hope that anyone watching this, like if you guys are in a similar place, you know, you're not alone. And like, I make this web series for myself because I'm literally just trying to like document my life, because even though right now in this moment don't believe that I'm gonna get everything I want, because I just have really been in a low place for the past few days, there's still like faith deep inside of me. And this testimony of where I'm at now is just gonna serve to help somebody in their journey when they are where I'm at, and where I am where God has promised to put me in the future. So this is Soul Diva Confessions. It's more like therapy for me. I don't really do therapy anymore. It's just me, myself, and God, and God has just been so unbelievably silent lately that it's just me, myself, and I. And I really love myself, y'all. And I just pray that, you know, I continue to like learn to love myself more deeply, because I'm one of the best people ever, and to know me is a privilege, not a guarantee. And you all watching this are very privileged. So yeah, this was like a sleepy little episode. And yeah, I just wanted to record something. I really have not been in the mood to record anything, but you know, I'm just sticking to Soul Diva Confessions. Like, no guidelines, no restrictions. Like, it just is what I needed to be in the moment. And these are just my confessions. And it's just my reality TV show, you know? LSD TV. So, I'm Mayush, the Lebanese Soul Diva. And you watching this are my cheetahs and my cheetah girls. And maybe one day, maybe next week, because I'm being so dramatic, I will believe in real love and I'll believe in fairy tales again. And like, thank God, God gave me this like really special person that's in my life to kind of like keep my faith alive and to like keep me in my feminine energy and just like make me feel deep, like selfless, but also reciprocal love. Even if it's just like a romantic friendship, that's what I would call it. It's a romantic friendship. Shout out to you if you're watching this. I don't believe that you watch my long form content. That would be crazy of you. So yeah, this episode was crazy. And I'm so excited for Ramadan because it's just gonna be magical and it's just gonna be magical. I love y'all.